Okay, this is present day, November 3rd. I've actually painted, wherever they are, over there somewhere. I've painted some goblins. I don't know where they are. I don't know what this video is. I don't know what order it comes in. The plan was to do sort of a, this is how I do stuff. Not even a tutorial, just a this is how I paint my goblins. But that was weeks ago when I started this. So I'm very shaky. It was weeks ago. Just as much as this is my favorite thing to do is painting models, as much as it helps me de-stress and disconnect from screens and, you know, it's meditative, I've not been able to bring myself to do it. I don't know why. It's the first thing that goes, is like painting when I'm in a bad place, when I'm struggling. I'm not even sure why I've been struggling, just, you know, mental health-wise, nothing serious, like nothing at all, nothing I complain about. I literally, but I can't keep my eyes open, I can't stay awake, and I don't want to face, you know, doing the things I enjoy, and I guess it's because if I stuff them up, well then I've wasted all that time. So I just don't do it, and then I feel bad that I haven't done it. But I've done some painting now. I feel better. I don't know what this video is. This is going at the start. We'll jump in and we'll take a look at the goblins now. Probably time to put some paint on some things. It's like, I don't know, 9 o'clock on a Thursday night. I need to stay awake until I go and pick up my mum from the airport at 11:30. So I've got a little bit of time to do some hobby now. And we're going to start by painting some little goblins. So these are what we're going to paint. And I'll show you what we used. I stole this from the internet and changed it a little bit, but ultimately it's pretty simple stuff. So, and the audio is going to sound weird because I'm on the side of the camera. This is Brushstroke 77's formula from years and years and years ago. 1 part skeleton horde, which I've got stuff all left of. 2 parts Gulliman flesh, and 3 parts a medium. Now this is cheaper than the contrast medium. It's effectively the same thing, but I don't love it. Sometimes it just doesn't give the effect I want. So I'm going to try this. I've never used it. Probably a bad idea. We're going to go 3 parts this, and we're just going to sploosh that all over these guys. Okay, after much difficulty, I have kind of got this little goblin into focus, and I've never painted on camera before, so I'm going to just attempt to put the skin color on. Oh, it's coming through thick and strong. Probably too thick there. But we're just going to go nuts. Doesn't really matter if it gets into the armor. We're just going to attempt to, where it gets too thick, like in the eye sockets, just dab that off once we've gone around the rest of the model, touching up all the skin that we can see. I can't really see what I'm doing. I've never done this before. Definitely don't have the setup that I would like to traditionally do it with, but hey, we just play on. Probably hard to tell from this angle, but we've applied the skin wash mix. I probably didn't explain. Apparently we've got a lot of people who watch who don't actually hobby. So this wash will go into the recesses, so it'll get darker in the crevices, lighter on the surfaces and flat. And hopefully the zenithal highlight we talked about in the last video, which is from the zenith to the top, painting a lighter color over a darker color to create shadows, accentuates that. So this is a good example of this, right? So this bloke, again, hard to see in this light, but underneath, dark, on top, light. So as a result, all the shadows look darker if you put a transparent paint over the top. It's a beautiful spring day in Melbourne. Sun is shining. One in the sun. Have a look at this. Not a bloody cloud in the sky. This is the neighbour's, what sort of tree is that? Tree. Is it a coconut tree? Palm tree. But what's more important than being in the sun on a sunny, beautiful day? Making cool hobby shit in the dark, alone. His underspray is quite a greenish grey, and his overspray was just a straight contrast spray paint. Same mix as the models we painted before. Different undercoats, obviously, different underspray, different undercolors, shadows, etc. But ultimately, we want them to look like they kind of belong to the same world as him. This is another model, smaller, same thing, just the one coat, a few other little colors and stuff painted in. Let's look at them. This guy's a little darker. If we're looking at the shadows in the skin, that is pretty on par, to be honest. Once we get some other colors on, so I think we're good. All right, the next thing I want to do with all these guys is paint their little boils. So we're talking the boils on the head here, on the leg, and to do that, I'm going to take some little bit of white paint and simply dap it on there. To be honest with you, this white paint might be a little bit too intense, to be honest. But we'll just dapple it on. And then we're going to come back and put a red wash on it to make it look all pimply. Okay, so we've gone through and painted a little bit of white on all of the pimples on all of the goblins. But now that I've done that, I don't actually think that's what I normally do with these. I think I normally do that as the final step. Oh shit. So we're just gonna paint the red on it and see if it works. We'll see. I don't need nearly that much. Put what, 1, 2, 3 drops in there. Let's throw the rest in there as much as we can. And then oops. Is that a redo? Nah, we roll with it. Maybe we add a little bit extra. And now we don't know what our mix is. Okay, so put the pink on there. Bad signs early. So it's been quite a few days since we did any hobby, anything at all. Have seen the Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers in 4DX at the movies, and they were horrendous experiences. But other than that, nothing's been going on since the last sort of clip you would have seen. So we're going to have a crack at finishing these gobbos, and that should be what you see before we get stuck into the big guy. Been tough to find time lately, but we must try. We have managed to base coat our silvers and our blacks, which is effectively the last thing we need to do. We need a wash. We need to do a wash to get those details muddied up in the silver, and then a couple of leather straps, and then honestly these guys are done. Could always spend more time, but you don't necessarily have to on such a big model. I probably should. I'll probably regret not doing that. Anyway, we now have to go on a little trip, because why would we want to do more? Why would we just want to paint? We got stuff to do. On the way home, driving through a big storm, doing everything possible to distract myself from painting goblins. Well, that's the bloody thing about living in Victoria, is if you don't like the weather, you just gotta wait 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Bloody 4 seasons in a bloody day. Jeez, the hills are gorgeous. Wouldn't you rather be up here hanging out in the trees than painting little goblins? So I think we just finished a base coating on the last little video. So let's have a look. This Goblin 1, I've highlighted the cloth in there. His pimples and boils are all done. Leather straps are done. I haven't highlighted that nearly as much as I usually would because I'm being lazy. I've edged and weathered the armor a bit, and the only thing I've just realized is I haven't painted the pupils on his eyes. So we'll do that when we put him on the model. Then we've got these blokes. This is where the clamp has been holding. It's actually misshapen that, and means I haven't painted it, but we can go in and touch that up really quickly. Same thing here. Haven't gone overboard on highlighting any of the straps, but you can see their little faces are all pimply and gross and disgusting, and they are quite nice models. You could, like, one of the issues with putting this together is unless you're going to warm up and reshape the bars, they're going to look all wavy and bendy, which is the issue with using resin instead of, say, a plastic cast or even a metal. I think I'm better at reshaping metal than I am resin. But again, once they're on the models, who cares? I've done the little toenails, and there's actually a bit of detail to these guys. They didn't take much time, to be honest. I just haven't been motivated enough to do it. This is probably the worst one in terms of how the pimples looked. It looks like his brain's exposed. I think we've probably discussed that. The rest of his hand is on the model. He's holding a little hammer that I've just, done a quick highlight on. I think he's probably one of my favorite sculpts of the lot. Couple more blokes using the same issue here with the claw, the clamp. I need to repaint over that, but a couple more blokes working the wheel. I do think they actually have come up all right. One issue I've encountered on some of these models is when I was gluing them together, I was having a rough time with the supplies I had, which has left a lot of texture where perhaps there shouldn't be any, but they're gross goblins. They can look gross, and this is what I would assume is we're calling the captain. I can already see a couple areas, but straps are done, eyeballs aren't, highlighted up the cloth slightly so it doesn't look just pure black. The skull's got a little bit of detail on there, and that's your lot. Yeah, so just quickly checking back in, I stuffed up the eyes. You can't really, to be honest with you can't really tell. That one looks okay, that one's cooked. The issue with the eyes is trying to go in with a dot of black or dark brown on a yellow or white eye always leaves you in trouble. You should just paint the eye black and then dot either side yellow. But I didn't do that. I did it backwards, and you can't really tell from this far back, but the paint has spread onto the skin in some parts, and this skin, once it is hit with the wrong color, is essentially unfixable, unless you want to start from scratch, which I don't. I'm not going to. Anyway, it's a small thing. It doesn't matter. Hopefully next time we catch up, at least 50% of the troll is painted. And by troll, I mean the bit of wood on its back. Let me know what hobby does to your mental health, if it's good for it, if it's bad for it, by causing stress unnecessarily. Just let me know. Let me know how you guys are traveling.